Okay, so right, manual testing. First one. Okay, right. So right, so right, software testing, right? So software testing is what is a software, right? It is called a set of instruction or a code. Okay, so you know a lot of examples of software. This is very basic, right? So you know what is examples of software like Facebook, Gmail, LinkedIn. So all these things are your examples of your software. Okay. So then, what is checking whether properly or not? So checking whether the software is working properly or not. So that is called as testing, right? So right, it can be see guys, mostly it will be theory, right? If you take manual testing, mostly it will be theory. Yes, there are some hands-on, but initially first 2 3 days, it will be theory. But because means why it is theory means you have to understand first the foundation well. Okay, your foundation should be strong, right? So then only you can go. There are a lot of the rest everything. If you take any automation course, right, everything will be hands-on. But manual testing more it is theory. It's a base, right? But there are some hands-on we are going to do later. I'll tell you what are the hands-on exercise. I can you hear me? Am I clear? Hello. Okay, am I clear?
Yes, Joshi, you are audible. Yeah.
Okay. So right, initially it will be theory, right? So if you be patient, right, you will learn some practicals also. But the base should be strong, right? If you are like if you are a fresher, I hope you are all freshers, right? So if you go some interview, they'll ask some basic questions. So that basic questions you should have some understanding, right? For that, your foundation should be strong. That's why we see this basic course, right? So it can be defined as many ways, right? Like so all these things you can tell the definition of software, right? checking whether it's meeting the customer requirements. That is also called as software testing. And checking whether it's expected and actual result is same, and checking the errors in the code. Okay, so checking whether it has any errors in the code. Next one is checking the functionality of an application. So all these things you can be defined it as software testing, right? Okay, so next, what do you mean by requirements? So what is mean by a requirement? Customer is called as requirement. Customer needs is called as requirements. What is customer needs? Suppose I'm a customer and I am asking I want a software. You will ask what are my needs, right? So suppose I'm a customer and I'm coming to you and asking I want the software, right? So you'll ask you what you respond to me. You'll respond back what are your needs, right? So I'll tell I want web-based software, okay, a Java application, okay. Then it should have some database, okay, and it should maintain my employees, okay, attendance calculation, bill I should put bill payment, okay, maintaining my goods, calculating profit and loss. See, these are all the requirements of customer, right? A customer is coming to you and asking, I want a software, right? You will tell, I want to maintain all my employees, okay? So that is right. Okay, maintain my employees, right? And I want to put my attendance, right? Bill payment, maintain my codes, calculating, right? Profit and loss. So all these things are different requirements of the customer. Then what is testing? Checking whether all these requirements, right? Checking whether all these requirements are in the software or not. That is called as testing, right? So whether it's either the software is a Java based software, it's a web based software, it has DB connection, right? And it can maintain at least 100 employees. It is able to calculate the attendance, okay. It's able to calculate how much is the salary, like average salary, total salary, like that is able to calculate and is able to put the bill, right, the bill receipt, and maintain my goods, how much is coming in, how much is going out, right, and calculating the profit and loss, right. So all these things is done perfectly or not without any bug. So that is called as testing, right. So all these things are called as your requirement. Next, right, it should not the expected and actual result is same. Okay, what is expected and actual is, suppose, right, 2 plus 2, your answer expected answer is 4, right. This is called expected. If this is expected and this is actual, if both are same, you tell pass, right. If 2 plus 2, right, if answer is 3, you tell 5, right. Expected and actual is not same. So checking whether expected and actual is both the same. That's called as testing. The main thing which you do in is you have a requirement, okay, and with that requirement you know the outcome of the application. With that outcome, whether it's happening in the application or not, whether actually it's there or not, that's called as testing, right? So that is one thing, okay. And next one is, right, checking whether errors in the code or not, okay. So errors means it should be handled. You expect, right? Suppose you go and buy a t-shirt, right? You expect, so that's why, right? It should not have any errors, right? You see the definition. Uh, it should not have any errors, right? So that is called as testing, okay. And the third, the last point is functionality, okay. So what is mean by functionality, right?
Yes, sorry to interrupt you, Joshi.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, over here, checking for errors in code is generally done by developers, right? We as test engineers shouldn't check the code, but our job is to just see if the functionality of the application is working fine, right? If I am not wrong.
See, if you have understood, there are two testings, right? One is white box testing and black box testing. I mean, you know white box testing and black box testing. You know what is
Yeah, white box.
you
Yeah,
know?
white box testing is done by developers after writing the code
Okay.
to, and the black box testing is like a build which is given to us. It has to be performed by test engineers to see if the application is working fine.
Okay, right. See, there is a Facebook application, right? You have Facebook application. Okay. So, if you see Facebook, right, you have username and password. Am I right? Okay. See, if I give me a wrong username, okay, some XYZ, okay, and I'm giving a password XYZ, what do you expect actually?
Yeah, it should throw an error.
It should throw an error, right? See, if it is
Yeah,
accepting, what happens?
then it means the application has some defects.
That is what we do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we should make sure there is no bug in the code. That is what testing, right?
Yes, yes, Joshi, got it now. Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, functionality, right? So checking the functions. One minute, I'll come. Okay, 1 minute, just I'm passing that, I'll come. Okay, sorry, right? Checking the functions in a software, right? So what are functions? Right? So you have an ATM machine. So what you do in ATM? Okay, so what you do, right? You insert a card. Then what you do? Choose language. Right? Then what you do? You select what type of account, right? Select the menu. For example, cash. Insert PIN. Okay. Then enter amount. Right. Then choose a receipt. Okay. Then write print statement. Take the card. Log in. So all these are functions. Checking this called as function. Setting this is called as functionality, right? So this is called as testing, right? So what are the operations, right? So all the operations which is happening in an application, that's called as functionality. So you check whether all these functions in an application is working fine or not. Okay, so you check all these applications. Okay, in all these functions in application is working fine or not. So that's called as testing, right? So our last definition is also explained here. Okay, so any questions here? Hello, any questions? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Joshi. I just have a question in my mind.
Okay.
So basically, in a software, when we are doing functionality testing, so we just check the general features, whether buttons or sign in, login, or functioning or not, right?
Yeah, that's called functionality, right? So there are other some non-functional also. We'll see. We'll see later. I'll distinguish between what is functional and what is non-functional later. Maybe tomorrow we'll distinguish what is meant by functional and non-functional. Tomorrow I'll let you know. Okay. So
Okay,
that
Joshi.
is the difference, right? So functional and non-functional, right? Okay. So now there are two like ways of this, right? Manual. Okay. So manual is without. Okay. So manual is with the support of a tool, and automation is without the support of a tool. Okay. So that is a difference, right? Without support and with support. Okay. So what you do in manual? Okay. You see application. Okay. And test it and prepare some reports. We'll see what are the reports later. Okay. So you are going to see the application and you are going to test the application and prepare the report. But in automation, you are going to do the same thing with the help of some tools, right? There are a lot of tools. Selenium, rest assurance. There are a lot of tools, like current tools I'm talking, right? APM, protractor, right? JMeter. So a lot of tools, right? You would have heard all these things, right? UFT. So you have heard all these tools, right? So all these things, you heard all these Selenium, rest assured, protractor, JMeter. There are a lot of tools, you know, right? So with these tools, you test an application, okay? So that is also one. Then why you go for automation? Okay, less time, complex code, fastly you have to finish, fastness, right? You have to finish in a very fast, less time, fastness, right? Then, right, for doing regression, we'll see this later, executing multiple times. Okay, so that's why we go for this, right? Now, right, and so this is why, right? We for go for complex, right? That's why we go for automation. This complex, it takes more time, right? And regression multiple times calling it stuff, right? So all these things, that's why we go for automation. Okay. Next, right? Okay. White box testing and black box testing. White box. And am I understandable? Can you understand? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Everybody is fine. Okay. So done by development. Right. Black. So it's done by test. Okay. So the same application. Are you seeing any code here? Are you seeing any code here?
No.
Just give username, you give password and click OK button, right? So we are all black box systems. We don't see the code. But same if you take developers, right? They will see the code. Okay. So what they are going to do is they are going to see the code and they are going to test it. So that is the difference between us and them. Same thing, they are going to check, they are going inside the code and they are checking, but we don't see the code. Okay, we just give username, we give password and click OK button and see whether it's navigating or not navigating. So that is the real difference here. Okay. So black box testing means you go right. So for example, right, you think right, I'm showing a testing code, but if you consider same thing, if you are a developer, right? See, this is a code, right? This is some code. So leave the code. See, a developer, what will do is they'll go and check line by line. Okay, they'll go inside the code and they will check. Okay, but we don't see the code. We see only the application. So that is a difference between us and them. The same thing, they'll write some code and they will do. Okay, so that is a difference between that and this one, right? They go inside the code and check. We don't see the code. We see only the external structure and we write the test, right? So that's a difference. Okay. Okay. So it's an external, right? You there are a lot of other testing, right? They will tell, right? The glass box testing, structural testing, all these for your interview purposes, right? They might ask you structural testing, right? Open box. This they'll tell in different ways, right? Open box. All these things are theory. You can search in internet, you'll get these answers, right? So this they will tell, right? Closed box testing, right? Right. They'll tell, right? So all these things are, yeah, different like types or right in your thing, right? Okay. The next, right? We'll go to positive testing and negative testing. Okay. So guys, right? This will be more theory, but I don't know, like how many are freshers. I don't know. If you are a fresher, this one plays a very very vital important role. If you go for any interview, right? Anything, any interview, this plays a very very important role. This basic understanding, right? You might be good in Selenium or you might be good in any other tool, but if you're not strong in basics, you'll get caught there. Okay. See, you might tell all frameworks in Selenium, all advanced topics you might talk in Selenium, but they ask a basic question: what is black box testing, right? You don't know how to respond, right? So don't think all these things are theory. These are all very very basic things, and these things you should know well. Okay. Next one is passive testing. Okay, testing with testing with passive. Next one is testing with next one is testing with negativity. Example. Why we check Okay, so to make sure there should be negative testing, right? So you should do parallelly both positive testing and negative testing also. Okay, so that is an understanding. Okay, next, right? So there are two things, right? Verification and validation. So verification means checking and validation is testing, right? So what is verification, right? So I buy a mobile. Okay. I go to shop. I bought a mobile. Before leaving, I check, right? Ask for specification, just or in that right or not. That is called validation. After buying a mobile, I will, okay, test and see if it's working properly or not. For example, it will work. Store some system, take some system. So that is called as testing. So verification, okay, is nothing but checking, okay, and validation is nothing but testing. Okay. Any questions? You have any questions? Hello, you there? Any questions you have?
Yeah, Joshi, I have a question here.
Yeah, tell
So
me.
when we are doing verification and validation process while testing an application, so how do we go about it? So do we side by side write test documents along with developers, while developers are developing the code, and then execute it once the test documents are ready? Okay, okay.
Any other questions?
No, Joshi.
All are fine. Okay. So we'll move to next, right? So that's called verification. So verification, okay, it depends on, and we'll see. I'll tell you detail. Okay. So these things are your basic things. Okay. Okay. Next, right? What order you are going to test? Okay. First, what is the unit test? Second,
Mock test.
so all these things are level, right? So this is the order in which you are going to test. Okay. So that's called as levels, right? First, unit. Done by developers, right? So each and every unit is individually tested. Sorry, I missed a spelling here. Can someone help me? Yeah, tested.
ENTIVIDOA.
Pardon me? In INDI
VI.
VA, right?
Yeah, VIDOALLY.
VIUAVIUALLY, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens. Okay. Individually tested here, right? So each and every unit is individually tested here. Okay. So that's called as right unit testing. For example, right, login. You have ISRTC application. You have modules like login. Okay. Uh, Search, find, okay, check availability, look finds, okay. Uh, then you have right print ticket, cancel ticket. Okay. So you have all these modules, right? So what is unit testing means? Testing individually the separate units is called as unit testing. So login is tested separately, search is tested separately, checking availability is tested, booking, printing ticket, okay, canceling the ticket, and logout. So all are tested separately. That's called as right unit testing. So, so all these things. So not only this, if you take login, right? You have username field, right? Password field, okay. Submit button is there, okay. Then you have forgot password. Not only units, okay. Sub units also tested. Okay. So not only units, sub units also tested here. So that is called as right unit test. Okay. So this is right sub. So that is called as unit test. Okay. Next, right? Called as integration test. Okay. So what is image subunit? Someone is asking, right? For example, okay, you go to this Google, okay, you give orange HRM demo, okay, you click this, right? See, login is one unit. If you consider, login is one module, right? This is one particular unit, and admin is one unit. This is called subunit. Admin is subunit. Username is subunit. Password is subunit. See, login button, that is a subunit. Forgot account, you forgot your password, that is a subunit. So login is one unit, username, password, submit button, and forgot your password is called a subunit. To go log into an application, see, each one is one module. See, admin is one module, PM is one module, leave is one module, time is one module. So each one is one unit. If you ask me, right, each one is one unit. Unit and module both are same. And what is subunit means? If I click this one, see, if I click this one, so all these things are subunit. Username is subunit, user role is subunit, employee name is subunit, and status is subunit, and search is subunit. So all these things are your subunits. Okay. So in unit testing, not only you test the whole unit, including a subunits also is tested here. Hope I answered your question. Okay. So checking one unit and another unit is combined or not. That's called as integration testing. For example, logging and search is integrated. So you take this application, right? If I log out, see, I give a username, password, and login button. This is one page, right? One unit, one module, right? If I click login, it's going to the next page, right? So login page and admin page is integrated here. Am I right? Okay. So login page and admin page is integrated. So checking login and admin page is integrated or not. So that's called as right integration test. Example, other example, right? After composting image, you go and see inside package. You can see the compost name, right? So compose main and send items is linked, right? So that is integration. Next is system. Checking the whole system is working properly or not. So that's called as, right, system testing. Okay, checking the complete system is working properly or not. Okay, both functional we will see, right, what is functional and non-functional. Okay, so example, right, so you take this this same ISR, right? All should work, all modules should work, and also checking the non-functional part, like performance, security, name, okay. So okay, and language testing, so compatible. So as a whole, next, right, system. The next one is system integration. See, function is, we are checking the functions. What is my function? See, all these things are function, right? The function is a login is one function. Search string is a function. Okay. Checking availability as a is a function. Booking trains is a function. But as a whole, you are checking the end-to-end it's fine or not. Okay. So this is called system. Okay. Not only this, this also. This also. So as a whole, everything should work. What and I all selected. I have still there are a lot of things, but as a whole, what and all I selected is working fine or not. That's called as system test. Okay. Next is right system integration. Okay. System integration means two systems are integrated properly or not. Example. IRC bank plus mobile plus Gmail. Okay. So ISRTC is one application and banking is another application. Mobile is another device and Gmail is another application. So see, all four are integrated. So system integration means one system is integrated with another system or not. So that is called as your system integration test. Got it clear? Any doubts?
Yeah, I have a question here, Joshi. When you say systems are integrated properly or not, is that whether the system, each system is dependent on each other, or separately it has to work when it's tested?
Pardon me. See, each one is dependent on other, right? See, suppose you want to pay some, you want to book a ticket, you need banking, right? Without that, you can't book a right. So, and you need, if you want to travel, you want to get a ticket, you need a mobile number, right? Or you need a Gmail account, right? So each one is dependent on other, as per rules, right? As per business rules, right? Each one is dependent on other, right? So that's why, right? One system is integrated on another system. That's why we called as system integration. See, separately, this is one system. This is called system testing. Separately, I am checking banking. It's called system testing. Separately, if I check mobile system and Gmail is separate system. When I combine together one system and other system, that's called as system integration testing.
Okay, okay, I got it now. Thank you, Joshi.
Okay, so this thing, right? So this called system integration. Okay. Then right. So customer checking in end user point of view. That's called as user acceptance checking. Okay. So customers is checking in end user point of view. That's called as right user acceptance checking. Okay. So for after right after you did after you're releasing to the project, customers will check in end user point of view. There are two things. One is alpha. Okay. In company's environment, customer will check in customer environment. Same customer is going to check. Okay. So in both cases, customer is going to check, but in the presence of right, testers. So this is correct. So both places, right? Customer is going to check. Okay. Okay. So in the both the places, right? Customer is going to check. Okay. But in the presence of right. So in the presence of testing team and development team. So that is the difference, right? So all these things are your levels of testing, right? As I told you, so you'll start with an now unit testing, then you go to integration testing, then you third you go to system testing, and last one you go for your system integration testing. So all these things are your different levels of testing. Okay. So what I'm doing is okay. So what you do is okay. I'll just give some homework, right? I'll give you some homework. Okay. So what you do is you go to Google and download some requirements template. Okay. So you go to your Google. Okay. And can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you,
Yes,
Josh.
you are
Okay.
audible.
Okay. So you go to Google and download sample SRS template and go through and come more. Got it? Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. So so if you are joining tomorrow, so you go and download, right? And you see, right? For example, I have downloaded one sample here. Okay. Now I downloaded one sample here. Okay. So you just like suppose, right? You go for an interview and you got placed and you go to the first day to office, right? They'll share you one requirement document. So you go through and see what will be there in the requirement document. So what are the contents will be there in the requirement document. You go through and come to them. Okay. So like that, you just go through all these things. You just try to understand, right? So what is there in the requirement? Like that, you go through and you can come back. Okay. So this you try to just sample some 2 3 documents you understand, and they would have given some requirements. You go through that and come back tomorrow. We'll see. Okay. Okay, guys. Right. So what we do is daily we'll join at the same time. okay, 6 to 7 for next 1 week, right? Then we'll see how it goes. Okay. So are you free for the next 1 week? Hello.
Yeah, yes, yes. It is at the same time, right?
Yeah, same time. Others all, I think all 12 or 13. I think you joined the class, right? Okay. So if you are joining, see, it's up to you, right? If you attend, I can take class, right? It's up to you. Okay. So you come, right?